If you're looking for a new action camera, the first company that comes to mind is probably GoPro. However, there are actually a few competing brands that specialize in these compact and rugged cameras, saying that it's not all about filming in rugged and extreme activities anymore. They're used for vlogging as well as for generally capturing life's memories. One of the most common questions I get asked is which camera is my favorite. Well, I've actually got three that I keep going back to depending upon the shooting scenario. Let's take a closer look. There are a number of qualities you'll want to consider when choosing an action camera, be it for extreme sports activities, through to general B-roll footage, or even to simply capture friends and family on holidays. Whatever the scenario, there are some common grounds. For instance, you'll want to think about battery life, as you'll definitely don't want your camera dying in the middle of the action. You may also wish to consider usage temperatures. We all know how the DJI Action 2, even the GoPro, gets rather toasty and shuts itself down. Of course, there's also image quality to consider, including low light performance. Many action cameras now make it easy to record in aspect ratios that fit the specifications of popular platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, so that's definitely something to consider if you plan to share your adventures on social media. So with that said, I certainly do not fall into the extreme activities usage bracket. Far from it. The most extreme I get tends to be riding my pedal bike, and so my camera usage is rather light, and I fall into the creating family memories and general B-roll footage category. And for that, I actually don't have a single favourite camera. I have three favourites, and which I choose depends upon the shooting scenario. Oh, and one more thing, I rule out using smartphone apps to live view or change settings. I prefer to do this on camera rather than have to connect to a smartphone in the middle of a shoot. It's just too inconvenient for me. So when it comes to the common matchbox style action camera suitable for a whole range of filming activities, GoPro do continue to set the benchmark, although that doesn't mean it's my favourite camera. Yes, it's super rugged, there's a huge range of options and settings to choose from, and the capture quality is probably the best out there at the moment, but none of that is useful if the camera isn't reliable, and that's my problem with the GoPro: reliability. If the camera fails out in the field, is buggy, keeps freezing or keeps overheating, then it's of no use, and above all else the support has grown to be rather questionable. So sorry GoPro, but there are others that provide just as good results these days, such as the DJI Osmo Action 3, another great camera. GoPro copied that front screen display, and I'm pretty certain GoPro will add the front touch sensitivity as DJI have with their latest camera pretty soon too. Saying that, my favourite isn't the DJI either, it's actually this, the Insta360 One RS. I love this thing because of the flexibility it provides. Sure, you don't get all the range of settings and options you get with the GoPro, and the screen isn't as big and nice as the competition, but it produces fantastic video capture quality across its range of shooting options. I've never had it freeze or overheat either, it just works every time. I only use the screen to change settings and then make sure the shot is lined up nicely, so the size isn't an issue for me. And as a whole, this has been reliable in producing high quality content. That said, I use the 4K boosted lens for general footage, although for anything more cinematic or where low light becomes a concern, I do love using the 1-inch mod, which produces shockingly good video quality. As an overall package, this setup here is expensive but seriously good. Great for B-roll footage too, and one could easily pass the captured quality off as coming from a much larger setup. So it's hats off to the Insta360 One RS in this category. Nevertheless, if you're looking to capture large fields of view, you'll want to pick up a camera with 360-degree capabilities. Even though the GoPro Max wasn't exactly brilliant, the clear winner for me is the Insta360 again with the X3. This provides for a great overall package. The single lens action camera mode isn't brilliant, but as a 360-degree camera, it's excellent. The hardware is great with that large screen, although the lenses do protrude and need to be cared for, part of the parcel with 360 cameras I'm afraid. Nevertheless, it's easy to use, and the capture quality is great too. Not only that, coupled with the fantastic Insta360 app or the studio software, both of which are industry leaders in my opinion and set the benchmark in this category, I can use this camera as a one-man filming crew, Add an external microphone option, and with the subject tracking doing all the hard work for me, you have dynamic video that you can really do a lot with. A clear market leader and my favourite 360 camera by far. So that covers my most used action camera and my most used 360 camera. And there's one more category that's useful for me, and that's a mini camera, which I like to use in order to mount in smaller spaces or literally just carry it around with me wherever I go, yet be small enough to throw in my pocket. So we have the GoPro Mini, which I personally didn't like very much. It's hardly mini considering it's only marginally smaller than a full-on GoPro. Even the Session was better in size than this thing. Changing settings was a chore as I don't like having to use smartphone apps to do basic camera adjustments. And again, reliability was an issue for me, especially considering there's no battery to pull out if and when this thing freezes. So out with the Mini and in with the DJI Action 2. A fantastic camera with a really nice design. I really liked this thing. The modularity, with that new magnetic attachment system, the well-sized screens directly on the small camera module too. Sure, transferring footage from the main lens module to the accompanying display module, complete with the memory card, is a bit of a chore, but for me it worked really well, albeit for shorter clips. This thing runs hot and you need good airflow at all times to get any lengthy shots. But even so, this is a great camera with fantastic video capture quality. If you're after something a tad smaller and lighter, then this is great. The resolution isn't as high and the quality isn't as good as the Action 2 or the GoPro Mini, but it wins for sheer versatility. There's just something about this that keeps bringing me back. It's small and light to mount pretty much anywhere, it's easy to carry around, has a remote viewing screen to change settings and line up the shot, and as a mini camera it ticks all my boxes. Above all else, the versatility that comes with the free frame mode means you can do so much with the Insta360 Studio software after capturing the footage. A real winner. Right, so at this point let's get one thing straight out there. I'm not sponsored by Insta360 or any camera manufacturer for that matter. They haven't sent me any cameras. I've purchased these with my own money and have the invoices to back it up. I haven't ever been in talks with Insta360 either. I just love the setup. The hardware is great, the units perform exceptionally well, produce high quality footage, and the icing on the cake comes with the software, which clearly sets a benchmark in the industry. I'm not saying that these are the best cameras out there with the highest capture quality, and to be fair, no, they're not. But as a complete package, these cameras are what I find I continue to turn back to depending on what I'm looking to capture. All units have their downsides and they may not be suited to your intended usage, but for me they've worked out great, and as a complete package I'd easily recommend them.